Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about how the GOP is having second thoughts. And they are starting to consider other candidates for president. And it presents us with a situation that I would have thought inconceivable not too long ago. A lot of the GOP no longer believes that any of the current candidates can actually beat Trump in the primary. They're also pretty confident that Trump can't win the general. They're throwing out two new names. One is Youngkin, governor of Virginia. The other is Governor Kemp of Georgia. I personally don't believe that Youngkin has it. He can't out-Trump Trump. Somebody who is going to beat him has to be different from him substantially. I have talked about Kemp a couple of times on the channel. I still have questions about whether or not he even wants to run for president. He does not seem at this moment like he wants to leave Georgia. But with Kemp, there is good news and bad news. The good news, even though he is right-wing, no doubt, by all accounts, by all action, everything, he's not MAGA, and he doesn't like it. He actually supports American democracy. His campaign would not try to cater to MAGA. It would aim towards the center, which would bring the GOP back towards center, back towards something a little bit more sane. That's the good news. The bad news is everything I just said makes him a whole lot more likely to win a general if he was to get through the primary. Kemp is different. Kemp is different. Kemp is not saddled with a lot of the baggage that makes him only appealing to the fringe. He will be able to say, I'm the Republican that stood up to Trump. And he will be able to get those independent votes the Republican Party is going to have. Now, realistically, I haven't seen any indication that he actually wants to do this, like none. The fact that his name came up in the reporting of what they were talking about was really surprising to me. It may be a case of wishful thinking from GOP strategists, them looking at who could actually do this in a general election. And his name was thrown out because, it makes sense. But I don't know. This is something the Democratic Party needs to worry about, though. Kemp is somebody that a whole lot of people are sleeping on. And I think out of the Republican names that have been thrown out so far, he probably has the best chance of winning a general election. At the same time, it seems unlikely that he makes it through the primary because of Trump's staying power. So far, people have tried to out-Trump Trump, and it hasn't worked. Anybody who supports that rhetoric, anybody who supports that fringe, they're going to support Trump. Kemp would be the alternative to that. I don't know that the votes are there to let him win a primary, especially if he was to enter the game this late. And again, still no indication that he actually wants to do it. But it is definitely something the Democratic Party should keep their eyes open for, particularly if, I don't know, Trump starts to succeed in the primary and then there's a legal entanglement that requires him to no longer run. And Kemp is thrown in at the last minute. That would be a concern. He is definitely right-wing, but his image is much more to the center. And because of his claims to fame, of being able to say, I was the guy who told Trump to take a walk, and I won, he might pull a lot of votes from the middle that, if Trump was running, would certainly be votes for the Democratic candidate. So it's an interesting development, but at this point we don't know how much of it is just wishful thinking on the part of GOP strategists and how much of it is something that could realistically happen. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.